name's Ernesto Osorio, and we're here with the Big East Fig Games and Expo show. And we're going to be talking with Don Robinson, who is one of our expediters for the bodybuilding competition, and actually the head expediter. Don, we want to know, the listeners want to know kind of how you got involved in the life of bodybuilding, how you got involved in expediting shows. What is, your human story to getting involved in, some people might call it a crazy world of bodybuilding. So how'd you get involved with that?
Well, I was one of the original many years ago that started working out very young, before and did everything wrong. And so I've always been around working out and fitness and bodybuilding, and back when you did everything wrong and screwed your body up. And then just started making friends with people that competed. So in Austin, I would help, through mutual friends, met Dave Gooden, and I agreed to help with his shows. And when his wife or his girlfriend got breast cancer, I went to her and said, this is just too much for you to handle, going through breast cancer and organizing a show. Let me take over the volunteers and organizing and everything of this show. And then, you can concentrate on beating cancer. And after it was over, she said, well, there's good news and bad news. And I said, what? She goes, well, the good news is you did a great job. The bad news is you have to do it from now on. So I just started helping with their shows and expedite and kind of just do everything, organize the volunteers, run the volunteers, help expedite. And that's really how I got involved. And I just love it. I enjoy it. I love giving back, and I love the amazing stories you hear of people and why they're competing and the amazing triumphs they've overcome. And so that's why I got involved and why I stay involved.
Great. Jeremiah, can you hear us now? Welcome. Okay. Well, Jeremiah, welcome again to the Big East Fig Games Expo show. And we're here talking about the upcoming event at the Legends Complex, the Hot Bodies Fig Games. Jeremiah, will you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how, the listeners want to know how you tell us about your story in bodybuilding. How did you get involved with it? How did you start? How are you involved now in expediting and being involved with numerous life of bodybuilding, competing, shows, expediting, all that? How did you get involved with that?
Actually, I got involved back in probably 2012. A friend of mine did a show, and I got interested in it. And after a while, I've done a few shows, kind of want to experience it with competing. So my oldest, he's 10 now. I call him the Rat, and 8 months old. I kind of want to learn business. So I started helping expedite shows, and actually Todd Tanner, who has a show this week, and that came out first expediting opportunity, and then started judging them for that, and then volunteering. That's how I've been done. So it's been a very good experience for me.
Can you hear me? Okay. Can you get a little closer maybe to your mic? You're kind of breaking in and out. Is that better?
Okay.
Yes.
Is it better?
So, on this, for both of you guys being involved in it, especially when I call in the ins and outs of the competition, the athletes getting ready, the the nerves, whether excitement for the guys that do well, the disappointments. I want the listeners to hear the stories. Most people that aren't involved in bodybuilding, as far as the competing aspect of it, never get to see the stories that you guys get to hear, or the transformations that you guys get to see or hear about. So tell us anyone that you have in mind that has stuck with you, either recently or from the past. Tell us that story. John, we'll start with you.
Well, it was during one of the shows, I had just completed my cancer treatments only literally a week before the show. And so I was, not up to par. And for some reason, that allowed a lot of people to come to me during that show and open up. And the stories I heard were everything from women that started working out to get out of abusive situations, kids that were abused, or people, both men and women that were abused as children. And so they started working out as teenagers to gain strength and self-confidence. A lot of women that have gone through breast cancer and to get that self-image back and that body image. But one that really stuck out with me was a girl that came to me and said that she got involved. Her and her boyfriend at that time, they're now married, were big partiers and living a pretty partying lifestyle. And they got diagnosed with HIV, or were told they had HIV. They started living a super healthy lifestyle to combat the HIV virus so that it wouldn't progress into AIDS. 6 months to a year later, they got a call from the doctor and were told, we apologize, that was a false positive. Neither one of y'all have the HIV virus. And they thought, well, we started living a healthy lifestyle, we might as well keep on. And she has gone on to compete and get her pro card and is doing great. And very proud. And it's just, just that inspirational story. I think it has a lot for a lot of people of taking power back in their lives to overcome obstacles, whether it be illness, physical or mental, or self-image or body image, loss of weight. I think it's empowered so many people and changed so many people's lives. That's why I stay involved. It just keeps me inspired to try to continually better myself, both physically and mentally. So it's a true inspiration to be around them.
Well, you have your own story into the last, one of the last competitions of last year, where you were going through your own battles with cancer, and you definitely made it to that competition, and you still volunteered and you still helped out. And when I ask you that question now, tell the listeners, what you were going through a lot. Why go there? Why finish, that competition, or that, you were a man of your word. You after fighting all through that cancer or whatever, had just finished, one of your last treatments, you were there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, for me, again, I never go back on my word. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And, again, just being around so many positive people, and the strength, and hearing them overcome them stories, it gives me strength. It gives me motivation to do better and be better. And just the compassion, I hadn't eaten in 3 months because of the type of cancer I had. I couldn't swallow. And I refused to do a feeding tube. So I was just doing green shakes. It would take me a full day to get through one shake. And that was pretty much all I was having all day, except for a little bit of water. So I was pretty weak, but I was getting to where I could swallow. And I was mentioning to one girl, I was like, I'm thinking about maybe trying some mashed potatoes or something. And, she thought enough of me. She went and got me mashed potatoes and brought them back and said, here you go. If you need more, call me. Here's my number. And they just, they took care of me, and they just inspired me to do better and to fight through, because, so much they fall through. And I'm just being around and just motivates you. It just gives you strength. And that's why I did it. Every time I come away from the contest, I just feel so motivated and so good about myself because of the type of people that are involved in the sport and their true compassion. And even though they're competing against each other, they're all pulling for each other. And you go backstage and you see everybody hugging and helping and helping each other out. They're not like, ooh, I'm not going to tell him his coloring is bad. They're over there fixing their competitors' coloring and helping them with their posing. And it just inspires you to see the camaraderie that everybody has for women.
Well, Jeremiah, tell us a little bit about, you've been around a number of competitors and you've been backstage rounding people up, helping them out, getting them all set up. Tell us a little bit about the stories that you hear, as well as you handle a couple of different athletes and their exposure. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I actually had a good friend of mine, one year named Ron Smith. He actually had lost her job, lost confidence in herself. I think her house may have burned down or something like that. And then he kept on trucking, did a show, competed, and actually earned her pro card. I actually got a little choked up, about it. It's things like that keep me motivated, make me proud to be involved. It's kind of like, give me that. Seeing Don backstage volunteering, and just his strength, and I kind of call him the dude. He met this, young people doing shows and stuff like that. So it's like, heck yeah, if I got a little cold, Don's just pushing through, push through. Sometimes I inbox some athletes, some advice, and say, hey, you want to check out this promoter, check out this show, and I'm pretty even killed with helping promote athletes. So it may sound weird to some people, but I get a lot of joy when people win shows and get.
Okay. So when you talk to, people that aren't involved, all of us have been involved in it, and we've heard, we all have our personal stories, and we've all heard. Met competitors with different stories. The basis of what, with the show today and talking about the Hot Bodies Fit Games is for the person who's never gone to a competition, who sees bodybuilders as these, either untouchable, unapproachable kinds of people. What would you say to that person, both of you, with the stories that you're telling me, you're saying that that's, not correct. So, you guys dealing with that, you would agree that the persona that most bodybuilders kind of show out there is really not correct. Would you say that?
I definitely would.
Jeremiah?
Yeah, they're regular people just like that. They got jobs, they have family, they have a lot of things going on. So it's, I've met police officers. I even met a gentleman. He actually was blind at one of the shows. Actually, second one of the shows I did, and he couldn't hear anything. It's just he by just touching. And he was sitting against the wall. True story. He was just smiling because that's where he belonged. So it's, they have bodybuilders that struggle. There's actually a lady on American that lost a lot of weight. It's just, it's just regular people just like that. They may have better diets than we do. They're just like that. So they got paid bills. They have a team, reservations about.
So would you recommend somebody who's never seen a bodybuilding competition to go just to hear something like that, to be experienced, in a story that they can see of an individual going through some of the stories that we've heard? Would you recommend that?
I definitely.
I would volunteer, kind of get one someone. It's like a family.
There's something about sharing. You see people in the military or when they go through major experiences. In talking about bodybuilding, and that's kind of what we all go through. We all have gone through different situations or different problems in our lives. But kind of coming up with, within the fitness perspective as far as bodybuilding, the dieting, the continual training, the that drive to continue to either finish a job, like what Don was talking about earlier, but that once you have done that, you kind of become, like we've been talking about, part of the family, and there's a mutual respect that everybody has within one another. Is that what you guys see in backstage and in the events that you guys have been involved in?
I have, for sure. One of the things, because of injuries, I put on a lot of weight. And I think a lot of people think it's contest that you would be shamed or feel insecure, be looked down upon because of your weight. And I find it's just the opposite. I find I want to support you and help you with getting your weight off and getting back in shape. And the most accepting group of people I've ever met. And a lot of people they fear that they're not everybody the people that want. There's other people that may not win, but they get it. Not everybody's perfect, and there is no such thing as perfect body. And I just found the support great. I think if you've never been to the show, I know I'd be really surprised at how people will accept open they are, and it truly is the some that reach out the most people be the most for the people in the contest, and these are not people that I've known. I mean, some of them might have only left. I never met them. Encouraging me. I'm you get from the community and feed the people. You will be
Jeremiah?
For me, what joined fraternity? For me, what joined fraternity or sorority? It was kind of like so it's it was really for my old he'll call this guy off the line, and after I take him to a show with this, I want him to respect dedication to the women athlete, dedication to follow through with it's pretty one show after actually work hey dude it's this and hey we can between it's a lot between the competitors. We're there to win. It's like and I think, but it's like the whole thing. And I think a lot more fun, a lot more competitors on stage. Kind of see what it takes.
Okay. Now, so again, I guess I'll be seeing you guys coming up pretty soon. We got about 5 weeks for the show. You guys looking forward to it? Well,
yeah, always. It's like when it's season, like football, stuff like that. When it's competition That's why everybody kind of comes out and
Well,
brings their bed.
like I said, thank you guys for your time.
It's always
And
exciting.
again, everybody who heard this interview will see definitely both of you guys at the Hot Bodies Fig Games on June 4th at the Legends Complex. And again, you guys have a good day, and I will see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for inviting me. Take care. Take care.